What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of After Credits. I am Liam, that's Daniel, and we're here with a review for the new A24 film, A Ghost Story. Got to go to the screening, and we got to meet the director, David Lowery, who did Ain't Them Body Saints and Pete's Dragon. He seemed like a chill dude, and he had a lot of his team here since this film was filmed locally. It stars Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara. And I don't know the best way to describe this movie. It's very art house. It's very existential. It's basically about a husband who is dead, who is watching life unfold after he has died. If I could sum it up as simply as possible, that's how I would do it. There's a lot of anger in this car, I can feel.
This movie's like Chester Bennington because in the end it didn't even matter. I'm actually glad we stuck around for the Q&A, otherwise I'd be a lot angrier than I am now. Because now I'm just indifferent. This movie did absolutely nothing for me.
But that's the point, Daniel. Life does absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I guess, if you want to be nihilistic like that, but I don't know what to tell you. It makes for a boring-ass movie.
I am pretty nihilistic, as you know. I hate a lot of things, including myself. But one thing I didn't hate was this movie. I actually rather enjoyed this film. I saw some people saying it was a masterpiece, and I couldn't quite say that, because it's really not breaking any new ground. Two things that I'll say. Oscar worthy in this movie. The cinematography, which I thought was beautiful, and the score I thought was fantastic.
I'll give you the score, the cinematography not so much.
I really like the cinematography. I just from a framing perspective, he does some really creative and interesting things. It's not like a movie that, you know, I'm gonna go watch a million times, because I mean it's very slow. It's an hour and a half and it feels longer than that.
This isn't a movie, it's an endurance test. This reminded me of taking the pacer back in elementary school.
I just hope to God that this gets a wide release so that like some like retarded teenagers will like, oh, Ghost? I'm gonna go watch a Ghost movie.
Really, you know what? If there's any reason I'm glad this movie exists, it's for that reason and that reason only. Because I want to see some jackass get confused thinking this is a Blumhouse movie, walk into this, and like 20 minutes in just go, the fuck is this bullshit?
Yeah.
What's with the fucking pie? But before we elaborate on that, spoiler alert, you can scroll to the time code right here to figure out our final thoughts and scores out of 6 stars. But if you've already seen the movie and want to hang out,
or if you don't give a fuck about spoilers,
come and hang out. This movie was sold to me on the concept of pie, and I think it might have been a little exaggerated because I heard that this movie has Rooney Mara eating a pie for 9 minutes, and apparently it's half that. It's 4.5 minutes, according to the director himself. This lady comes by, drops off a pie. Rooney Mara comes home a couple hours later, grabs this pie and just starts eating it. She like sits on the floor and continues to just go to town on this fucking pie. And she's sobbing while you have it.
But it's not overdone. I thought that was a really good scene.
No, it was really hard for you to tell that she was crying. You would see like the glisten of snot on her nose, and that was about it.
Yeah, like the Viola Davis snot from Fences.
Viola Davis's snot from Fences is like Men in Black special effects compared to this.
That's true. This is obviously more subtle.
In the Q&A, they said where that pie came from. It's from Spiral's Diner, and there's one here in Denton. Like right next to the bus station and City Hall around there, they're building a Spiral Diner. It's a vegan chocolate pie, and it did look delicious, so I might get one.
I'm not a huge pie person, but yeah, I mean,
I like both, pie and cake.
When you told me about this, because I knew that there was a pie scene, and then on the way here, he told me it was 9 minutes. I was like, fuck, that's gonna be a long time to watch.
It felt like 9 minutes.
There's some fantastically well-edited sequences in this movie. There's a great scene at the end of the movie when it's kind of just showing Casey Affleck and Rooney Mara's history in the house that they bought. And I'm always a sucker for like well-done montages. Fuck, I'm not gonna... Do you remember the name of the song? There's a song that's played that Casey Affleck's character writes in the movie. It cuts back to when she first heard it, and then when she's listening to it again in grief. That was a fantastic scene.
Yeah, because she's leaning her hand closer, and you see Casey Affleck's ghost, which is a bed sheet with eyes. It's as simple as you can fucking get it.
It's perfect.
But you see her lean towards him, and I thought that was a good scene. This movie made me tear up at one point. It's weird that it made me do this. It was that part when right after he dies in a car accident, not even 2 minutes away from the house. She's lying in bed and she's just sobbing, and you see him start patting her back.
Yeah, kind of reminded me of the scene in Guardians of the Galaxy where Drax patting Rocket.
Well, it reminded me.
That's the only comparison you're gonna get between this film and Guardians of the Galaxy.
That scene reminded me of any time I'm dealing with a sad Britney, and it's intimate. And I will say that the scenes that are conveying intimacy are done extraordinarily well. Almost to the point where it's uncomfortable. Like that first scene whenever you see them cuddling in bed and start slowly kissing each other, that drags on for so long that you almost get uncomfortable. You start wondering, are they just gonna fuck?
I think the movie's supposed to get under your skin like that, and that's definitely what the director sort of mentioned. At least that was definitely if that was his intention, which it seemed to be, I think he pulled it off. It's surprisingly emotional, but there's no real there's no moment where Rooney Mara has a character breakdown. And I mean, if everybody's dealt with a death in their family at some point in their life, so I think it's obviously a very universal sort of theme, and I think you definitely
you don't need to have a character breakdown and sobbing tears, because not everyone responds to grief like that.
And essentially, at least I interpreted the movie's not really about death, it's more about time and death.
You just got that from the poster in the Angelica.
Is that really what's on the poster?
Yeah, it says, it literally says, it's all about time.
I should have done the fucking marketing for this movie!
No, you shouldn't have, because that's a terrible fucking slogan.
I did not read that, I swear to God.
Don't you fucking lie to me.
I did not read it.
Fucking Jew.
I liked the way the movie had, sort of went through time. I thought that was it wasn't I hate when flashbacks are whoa, it's using weird editing and stuff. It was very transitional. It felt like a circle of time.
I don't feel like this is a movie that I don't get, because I picked up on everything you're talking about. Just didn't do a damn thing for me.
I can understand somebody who just didn't get it, and it's just well, ghost story. Why didn't I see? Why weren't it's scary? And I think it's a very good movie. I cannot recommend it to everybody because I can't, it's hard to tell whether or not you're gonna like it.
I'm usually a guy for slow movies, but there's something about this that just dragged on so much. I was waiting for that thesis statement to pop in. This movie feels like an essay written by somebody who has one good point but doesn't meet the word count. Because David Lowery fills this movie up with incredibly long takes and good moments. There are good moments of intimacy here and there, but the movie drags on for so much that when you finally get to the nugget of the movie where it is literally explained to you what the movie's about, once you get to that point, everything at the end can just go to hell, because I already know what the movie's about.
That was the only scene that I really didn't like, which is when Overalls decides to explain the themes of the movie, and it's a moment where it's it fits into the context of the movie where it's just he's observing what's happening, and it's oh, this is just somebody else's idea or whatever. But you don't really need that scene to understand the rest of the movie. I mean, it wasn't super awkwardly put into the movie, but I think you could have done without it.
If you're a person that hates MacGuffins in movies, you're probably not gonna like this film.
Well, I think it's very simple, and that can be something you either appreciate or don't appreciate. I appreciate the movie, just taking this very core, very elemental theme about time and death and loss, and sort of just exploring it through these almost these vignettes.
You're talking about themes and elementals and stuff. I'm looking at the right now I'm looking at the literal of it. So when Rooney Mara talks about in the beginning of the movie how she likes leaving little notes hidden for people to find, when she's about to leave the house after Casey Affleck has died, she writes a little note and kind of like sticks it in the little crack here in the wall by the house. And so Ghost Casey Affleck, whenever Ghost Fleck walks up to it and he's trying to scratch at the wall to try and, you know, get that little note, there are points where he's interrupted literally by a jump scare. The only real jump scare in this movie when a fucking bulldozer comes in and destroys the house.
What about the part where he's like, when they're buying a house and the Rooney Mara bangs on the window?
Oh yeah, that's a jump scare too, but not with Ghost Fleck. You're just like, oh fuck, what did she write on the note that she decided to leave on there? And at the very end of the movie, he pulls out the note after doing some sort of time loop like Scott fucking Bakula. And then he opens up the note and his spirit disappears and dies, and you never know what the fuck is written on it.
Because you never know what life is about.
Because life is like a box of chocolates and pie, I guess. There's probably 45 hot takes on Twitter right now about this movie, and if at this point in the movie, if all you're waiting on is to see what that MacGuffin is, this movie's doing nothing for you. And you probably knew that by then.
Yeah, I don't think
that was my last holdout. And I was hoping they wouldn't pull that artsy indie bullshit that they do when they don't explain the one thing that they've been trying to just hammer home forever.
I think I was just more invested in like the structure and the...
I kept thinking of Ebert's law of symbolism, where if you have to ask what it symbolized, it didn't.
He's never gonna know what the note means, and that's kind of the point of the scene. That's not the... whatever.
That you're never gonna... What? Okay, cool, he's not gonna know, and that's a red herring and a cock tease.
No, it's not. That's the point of the movie.
What's the point of the movie?
The point is that he's not gonna know.
Not gonna know what?
What she wrote.
Is that it? I spent an hour and a fucking half to realize that Casey Affleck's not gonna know everything that Rooney Mara fucking does? So what?
I wasn't waiting for some big reveal. Like, it just opens
I don't even need a big reveal. I just need something.
What would you want? It's like, you know, like, this is a flower that represents our love.
Even at I love you, I would have taken that. I miss you. Something, man. I would have even taken the flowery, pretentious bullshit, because at least it led to something.
It says I was part of the CIA the whole time.
Fuck it! I'll take that!
Your death was a homicide. It was an inside job.
Do something like that! Fuck it! Really throw it out the window at the end of the movie. Just give me something other than this, ambiguousness for ambiguousness' sake.
I don't care. I liked that element of the movie. Performances are good.
Performances are okay.
I mean, the movie's definitely not about performances,
it's
really.
Not. Unless you want to talk about Casey Affleck standing and walking around.
I wonder if that was him in the costume, like, the entire time.
Aren't you thinking that? Like, I was thinking that a little bit. At the screening, they had somebody in costume just stand as the ghost, kind of at the edge of the door, and never made mention of it, so whenever they said, thanks, Casey Affleck might be here.
Yeah, we're missing out.
Either that or it's Rooney Mara and they just put her in like high heels or something.
I don't know.
Which probably makes sense as to why she would be standing in one place, because I'm pretty sure walking in heels with a ghost sheet on is a bad idea.
I love Rooney Mara. Like, she's one of my favorite actresses. I have a massive crush on her. I thought she was good in this movie.
There are a couple takeaway scenes, mainly the one where they're cuddling in bed. I thought that was very sweet and intimate, and she gave herself into that role. The pie scene, for all intents and purposes.
Obviously, you know, they're not like super fleshed out characters, because you're supposed to sort of project yourself onto.
It's not a character-driven movie more than it is an idea-driven movie.
Which is fine. So if you scroll to the time code, welcome back to our non-spoiler thoughts on A Ghost Story.
I really want pie. I think I might have to settle for cheesecake at home, but it has crust in the same way that pies do. It's not in the same. Somebody in the comments, can y'all, like, I don't know, send me some pie? 3D print me some pie, goddammit.
I always like, watching a movie like this that is kind of ambiguous, because I enjoy discussing it, like, what it means, and I like movies that are.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
No, like I genuinely enjoy movies like this that like something like a 2001 where you can just debate with friends about what it means for hours and hours. I think this movie did a good job at conveying sort of the ideas about time and loss and family. David Lowery is a very impressive visual filmmaker. He composes beautiful shots. This is definitely one of those movies where each frame feels like, you know, a painting. This might be my favorite score of the year, up there with Dunkirk, and original song for like whatever that song was that come Oscar time.
You know, Casey Affleck would be really good at a biopic for the Bee Gees.
Can he sing? Well, was that him singing in the movie?
That looks like it was him singing in the movie.
Yeah, he can probably.
I mean,
sing.
he's got the hair and beard thing. You just slick it back and make it a little more presentable.
Yeah, I know I sound like a depressed, like drunk, but I really enjoyed watching this movie. I'm going to give this 4.5 out of 6. If you're not into art house movies, don't go see it. If you're like him, don't go see it. But if you do go see it, don't wait for VOD because it's something that is worth seeing on the screen, the big screen. This isn't a movie that you should be able to take bathroom breaks or look on your phone during.
I had to piss so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Oh my god, my kidney was gonna fucking explode.
So did I.
I was gonna feel like an asshole anytime I left because the director's fucking sitting right there. He seems like a nice guy, but I would not be able to hide my dude, your movie sucks disdain. Like, I can't do that. I don't like bullshitting people. The ideas and themes that he's going for, I can appreciate on a conceptual level. Just the way it's executed, it's too slow, it's too boring, it just didn't do anything for me. If you like stuff that's ethereal, if you like thinking about space and where we come from and time and all that fancy shit, this is your movie. If you are not in that sort of mood or you're not really inclined to sit there doing that, watch Dunkirk again. I'm gonna go with a solid 3.
Oh, good for you.
Fuck off.
I was really worried you're gonna give this like a 1.5.
I'm not gonna give this a 1.5.
I don't know. You're an asshole.
It's not my cup of tea. But it is my slice of pie. So somebody give me some fucking pie!
If you like this video, please click the like button down below. Also make sure to subscribe to be the first to know whenever we have new content. Also make sure to click that bell icon so you can be notified whenever we make one of these fucking videos. We got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our friend Noah is the Cinema Geek on Instagram. He does movie reviews there, so if you want to check out his ramblings, you can just go over there. If there's some other indie that is coming out that we're not thinking of right now, no, there's not.
Send it our way.
Brigsby Bear comes out in August.
I thought it came out on the poster over in July.
Well, that's New York and LA. It doesn't hit here until August.
There's this movie called The Little Hours, which is like Aubrey Plaza. It's an R-rated nun. I'm kind of down for that.
Yeah, I mean, there's
a little bit down for that.
There's some indies I want to see. Like, I heard Good Time is really good.
God, all the trailers we got pissed me the fuck off.